Welcome back, turn 44. Good morning, everybody. This was an interesting turn for a lot of reasons. So, before we go through the messages, to set the context, Pangea and Pythium are both AI right now. So, there's me, Banderlog, Facia, Asphodel, and then AI, Pythium, and Pangea. So, dire important. Pythium casts Eyes of God, so now they can see the whole world from their 2 provinces or so. And Pangea overcast Asphodel's Mother Oak. Crossbreeding, Clockwork Smith's Eyes, White Stag, so this guy here is a deer that generates more deer and air gems. Found a magic site. That's the Garden of Frozen Flowers, so water gems. Some blood hunting. Alright, here we have Banderlog attacking Pythium. So this is a field battle versus a decent amount of PD. There's a little communion here, which they're not going to do anything. Howl goes up. And the Hestagus are just being wiped out by the far superior Banderlog Sacreds. So, 3 Sacreds actually died, but 121 Hestatus. Oh, those aren't even Providence Defense. Those were actual units lost. Bloody waste. It would have been better for Pythium to keep those inside the fort rather than patrolling, because if they kept them inside the fort, then they could have maybe clogged up the entrance, but it doesn't really matter. Banderlog coming in to attack this fort. There's a few guys home, some Diergs. They waste their time with Body Ethereal, and before being just obliterated. So the result there was 5 casualties for Banderlog and a wipeout for Pythium. Then my battle in Pangea, and this was interesting. Let me start this off by saying that I made some mistakes, which will become clear. I really should not have sent the house, because, as we'll see, my units will end up getting clogged up by the breach in the gate. On the Pangean side, we've got some Pans, Maenads, and their biggest boy, the Monolith, who has cast that global enchantment, the Mother Oak. And a few White Centaurs with their Bless, which is Magic Weapons, Reinvig, Barkskin, Strength. Alright. So, people are doing smites, mostly me. I made it dark and spooky, which gives me an advantage since even the kitties have Dark Vision 5, and my Sacreds have perfect Dark Vision. That flash there was Divine Wrath. So this girl here, her hit points are massively reduced because of the Dominion penalty, but she's got tons. I keep saying she. He's got tons of defenses. He's got his great sword. He's ethereal, astral shield, all this stuff. He could just walk through this wall because of ethereal and cause trouble, but he can't get around all these damn lines. So you start shooting some fireballs and random shit. Eventually we're killing the main ads because our troops are just better. But many of my troops are basically unable to get involved. I've got some soulless that have been body ethereal just on AI autocast. And eventually we'll break through. So in comes the flood. And then comes part 2, which is attacking the monument. Our dudes, like these lions attack for 20 and 18. Biggest boy here is ethereal. He body ethereal himself and has a protection of 36. So they're not gonna hurt him. The reavers are tougher with 25 damage attacks, but it still requires some exploding dice and some luck to get through both the ethereal and the protection. So we end up surrounding the monument. It's using innate caster to shoot tangle vines at my dudes and earth melds and things like that, and that will become relevant. Cannibals for free is trying to get involved. He's ready to slice up the monument with a greatsword, but there's just a random bunch of skeletons and shit that I put in the way, which is another mistake. Like, I did not need to flood the battlefield with bad troops because I have good troops. So, the result is that right now this guy has lost a total of 36 HP. He has gotten the mute affliction. It's auto-casting Paralyze. Let's see, what have these mages even been up to? He's just spawning skeletons. Let's see. He's just casting Prayer of Death now that he's back here and he has no useful spells to cast. Which is another thing that I was thinking about, and it's probably a mistake that I didn't do it, but I was considering having my mages advance for a turn so that they'd be more likely to be in range and do like soul slays and shit. But well, I didn't. What have you been up to? Yeah, he's trying to paralyze the monoliths, but well, he has to get quite a bit of luck to overcome those defenses. And that's probably the same story here. Yep, all these paralyze attempts that were unlikely to succeed through the monolith's high magic resistance. So the person who could really take out the monoliths is Cannibals for free here. And eventually we'll hit the turn timer. So now it's turn timer. All my dudes need to rout. This monolith needs to rout too. So Cannibals for free is leaving. These guys are all routing. Not sure why Biggest Boy isn't set to route yet, but he will. It's no longer dark outside. Only Berserk guys remain. And eventually these guys will either get killed or run away. And now we've got just these 4 guys left on the battlefield. These 2 guys are entangled. The monolith is just chilling here. Got a long dead that's gonna end up dissolving once there's no more magical leadership on the battlefield. And we've got this soldier priest. This one guy with damaged armor, helmet, and sunk in the ground. So he casts Shatter on the Soulless. But the thing is that it requires a Strength 17 roll to get out of the entanglement. His strength is only 10. So he's trying to pull himself free. The monolith, of course, just sits there being a rock. And because he can't pull himself free and the monolith can't cast a spell that hurts him. Oh, and then the monolith shrinks him. So now it hasn't actually gone off yet. There we go. Now is it off? No. There we go. So now he's shrunk. So now his strength is only 7. So he just can't get free from this. And the result is that because he's stuck in the ground, when like the second turn timer hit is going to hit and just wipe everything off the battlefield. Monolith is trying to shoot him with vine arrows, which takes him down to 2 HP. He finally broke free of his entanglement. And then that last bit there was the second turn timer just killing everything on the battlefield. And AI Pangea was not happy, of course. So, because of that one dude being rooted in the ground, that killed the monolith, which is just hilarious. Obviously, like, I could have played that better. Now, unfortunately for me, this says the defenders of the fort are repairing it. Basically, these guys with their 5 total siege strength, or 6-ish, were not enough to keep the siege up. So it's going to take me 2 more turns to actually conquer Pangea, because I got to get these guys back in here and then take it over. But it's fine. It's not ideal, but that's what I get for screwing up and sending so many troops. If I had just left a division of siege chaff behind, then even if that had gone so poorly, one of these Malaks could have just come in afterwards. So that's my B. So now no one has Mother Oak because Pangea overcast it, then promptly lost it from that monolith dying. Obscuro, Man from the Heavens, Cymbeline, people killed, lost some Dominion, and then it's spooky outside. Diseases over here. So I think I had someone in the area. Let's go ahead and have you bring some of these kitties out here. I think the brown ones are, yeah, the brown ones are the worst ones. So we'll just go ahead and, actually, I don't want to bring the worst ones. Let's bring the black ones. Those are nice and stealthy. Let's bring the blue ones with their not being undisciplined. We'll take those out of there. And then those guys will set up shop here in Spring Spires, where I'll get a palisade this turn. We've got a crew going around searching for sites, and we will go from there. The next thing that I want to get is I want to empower in blood one of my earth dudes, probably this guy, with the goal being to make bloodstone so that then I can ramp up earth. Alright, other than that, continuing to do some crossbreeding, which I realize slows down what I just said, but I want to have a crew. And then we'll go ahead and gather up stealthy kitties and start to deploy them. Alright, I think that... Oh, you have a bonus, so let's go ahead and have you forge helmet. Do I have a... Okay, girdle of might, that'll work. Alright, researching Conjuration 6. Construction 6 was achieved, so we're getting lightless lanterns every month. Lots of artifacts, actually. Immaculate Shield, Sword of Injustice, Krupp's Bracers. We're getting a skull cap, which is an artifact, but it is cool. Green Eye, Water Bracelet, and I think a Moonvine Bracelet, the boots of this druid. So lots of forging going on, and that should give me some good stuff. Alright, thanks as always for joining me. I'm the last one for this turn, so I'll go ahead and take a peek at that pretty soon, but I also need to get to work. So I'll be back probably later in the day. See you on turn 45.